these are all changes that are happening. And this is what the institutional money is realizing, the BlackRocks and these other folks, about Bitcoin. And so you're going to see a rotation out of these other assets like stocks and bonds and property and gold. They all get demonetized. All that flows into Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin price continues to head toward $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, and all these other things just continue to be demonetized and end up like the Venezuelan bolivar, just littered.
In this interview with Max Kieser, he discusses the looming Bitcoin ETF and what he thinks it will do to the price of Bitcoin. He starts by talking about the significance of Bitcoin and how it completely flipped the financial narrative by allowing the plebs to enjoy a financial opportunity first. He explains that the incoming institutional adoption is more good news as it means significantly larger inflow of capital, leading to a higher Bitcoin price. His analysis is backed up by rumors that BlackRock already has $2 billion lined up to pour into Bitcoin in the event of the ETF approval, with more to follow upon confirmation. Max moves on to shed light on the importance of Bitcoin as a safe haven due to the imminent collapse of fiat money and even the nation-state system. Finally, he explains that while the Bitcoin ETFs are good news, they're inferior products. He also explains that although BlackRock is currently a positive for the industry, they're not a fan of the people. Max highlights some of their past behavior and even the nature of their ETFs as evidence that even though the ETF is good news, in the end, nothing beats owning and self-custodying Bitcoin. Let's dive in.
Bitcoin was really the first major financial play in history where the plebs got to it first. Usually it's the reverse. Wall Street makes their money and then they sell off bits and pieces, right? Companies go public and the insiders make tons of money, and then the public can buy shares in the aftermarket, and the feast has already happened and they can buy shares. But here in this case, the feast happened by the plebs, by the people who were marginally of society buying Bitcoin when it was $1 and $5 and $10. And now that it's getting close to 40,000, now you see Wall Street coming in. So it's really a reverse of what we've seen historically with markets, in that the little guy got there first and they've made a ton of money. And now Wall Street comes in and everyone's going to make a ton more money. So yeah, BlackRock and all these other firms, Fidelity, will launch ETFs, and it'll bring in a tremendous amount of capital. But nevertheless, it will unleash a lot of capital. And, we're going to get to a valuation of Bitcoin, which would be similar to gold. So gold is in the 10 trillion approximately market capitalization, the global gold stock that's traded. And Bitcoin is just under 1 trillion. So you're going to get a 10x on Bitcoin pretty quickly here. So you're talking 400,000 to compete with gold. I think we could get it on this move. You're going to get it definitely above 250,000 on this wave, on this move. Will we get to 400,000 on this without a correction? And Bitcoin corrects pretty severely every few years. Possibly. We'll have to see how it develops. But I have a feeling that because the fiat money world is collapsing so rapidly and the model of the nation state itself is collapsing, that we could be pretty shocked on the upside in terms of where Bitcoin is going.
So far, Max has explained why Bitcoin is unique historically and what the ETFs could mean for it. He speculates that Bitcoin will eventually have a similar market capitalization to gold, which means the current price of Bitcoin will have to 10x. A similar prediction was made by Real Vision CEO Raoul Pal, who argued that the entire crypto market cap would touch 10 trillion this cycle back in 2023. Moving on from there, Max explains what he means when he talks about the collapse of the dollar.
In dollar terms, the price of Bitcoin would go higher, right? If the dollar is going down, your dollar price in Bitcoin goes up. So we're very happy to see the dollar go down. Bitcoin is already making new all-time highs in currencies that are undergoing hyperinflation, as we see in Argentina and Venezuela and Turkey, in these places, Bitcoin is already hitting new all-time highs because their local currencies are collapsing. The dollar is, it's the cleanest shirt at the laundry, right? It's a fiat money, but it's on a relative to these other fiat monies, it's the worst option. But eventually, it too will go this way of all fiat money. So fiat fiat money is, we're at the end game for fiat money, which was like a 300-year experiment. And then in 1971, of course, we went on an all fiat money for the world when Nixon closed the gold window here in the United States. So this is all winding down. We're moving toward a post-fiat money, post-central bank, post-nation state world. And gold will have a place in that world. And countries like we said, China, Russia, and others are aggressively buying gold. Central banks still settle in gold. But as Paul Tudor Jones has said, all the dynamics that go in, the macroeconomic dynamics that go into analyzing and projecting where the prices of these things are going, he likes inflation hedges. He says, yeah, gold, of course, is a classic inflation hedge. For some reason, that you are, says in the fine print that they can settle with you, the ETF owner, in cash. So you don't get gold for your gold ETF. You get paper money, which is the thing you're trying to avoid. Same thing with a Bitcoin ETF. It'll have contingencies in the prospectus that make it very much inferior to simply buying Bitcoin and putting it into cold storage and taking it out of the system.
SEC Chairman Gary Gensler tweeted in the afternoon of Monday the 8th about investing in cryptocurrency. Many took this as a sign that the ETF approval is already confirmed. Price action soon followed, and Bitcoin rose to above 46,000 USD. It seems like the wait for the ETF approval is almost over, and Max's advice is paramount, especially for new players, and informative for existing users. When do you think the SEC will announce their decision on the ETFs? To see the latest in crypto news, watch this video here.